Topic name: Educational finance at micro and macro levels. Introduction: Education is vital for the future of individuals and societies, requiring significant financial resources. Finance involves the management of money, investment, and savings. Educational finance covers funding mechanisms, financial policies, and resource allocation supporting educational systems. Revenues for education come from taxation, tuition, and philanthropy, and funding sources include public, private, and international. The goal is to provide affordable education, ensuring high returns and minimal wastage of resources. Characteristics of finance and educational institutions: systematic acquisition and development of funds, stabilizing the financial position of institutions, limited funding sources due to governance regulations. Main revenue sources include fees, donations, and grants. Fees are regulated by governing bodies. Principles of educational finance: improve education using available financial and human resources. Focus on equal fund allocation in education. Provide affordable education to all. Ensure equal distribution of educational resources. Grants for special expenditures like libraries, labs, and physical activities. Financial opportunities through scholarships, stipends, and free studentships. Finance management in educational institutions. Finance management addresses the gap between funding sources and their application. Key features: anticipating financial needs, estimating requirements, acquiring financial resources, securing funds. Administering fund allocation, controlling fund utilization, analyzing fund performance, measuring goal achievement. Accounting and reporting, justifying fund utilization. On education. Education expenditure as a percentage of GDP reflects government prioritization. Kothari Commission and NEP 2020 recommends 6% of national income for education. In the 2024-25 union budget, 3.1% of GDP was allocated to education, showing moderate growth but still below the target of 6%. Planning Commission established in the 1950s to discuss and finalize 5-year plans. Determines state and central government expenditure, sets program goals for each planning period. An organ of the Union government for development through planned expenditure. Sources of educational finance: 1. Government funding from central, state, and local governments. Main source of finance for public institutions. 2. Tuition and fees payments made by students. Significant for private and some public institutions. 3. Donations and philanthropy. Contributions from individuals, alumni, and charities, used for scholarships, endowments, and development. 4. Private sector contributions: funding from corporations and partnerships, supports research, infrastructure, and programs. 5. International aid and grants: funds from international bodies and foreign governments. Supports education in developing countries. Loans: 6. Loans for institutions and students from financial entities. Used for capital investments and tuition. 7. Endowments: financial investments from donations. Earnings: fund scholarships and operations. 8. Self-generated income: revenue from services like hostels, cafeterias, and research. Additional income for institutions. 9. Taxes: education-specific taxes to fund education initiatives. 1. Microfinance focuses on individuals or small communities, often in developing countries. Provides financial services like credit, savings, and insurance to underserved populations. Narrow concept: addressing individual needs, offered by NGOs, self-help groups, and microfinance organizations. Involves small amounts of money. No specific time factor involved. 2. Macrofinance. Operates at the national or global level, impacting the broad financial system and economies. Involves large financial transactions and institutions like central banks, commercial banks, and governments. Broad concept: focused on the needs of larger populations, managed by governments, corporations, and banks. Deals with large sums of money. Time bound, typically involving specific time periods, e.g., 2 to 3 years. 1. Promoting access to education: ensures free or affordable education, provides scholarships and financial aid for underprivileged students. Supports infrastructure development in underserved areas. Point 2. Ensuring quality in education. Invests in hiring qualified teachers and providing competitive salaries. Develops modern curricula and educational tools. Improves learning experiences with laboratories, libraries, and digital platforms. 3. Reducing educational inequality. Redistributes resources to underserved areas. Offers special support to marginalized communities, e.g., scholarships for minorities, girls, disabled students. 4. Sustaining education systems. Ensures long-term funding to maintain facilities and services. Invests in infrastructure maintenance and upgrades. Supports research and development for global. 5. Fostering economic growth and development. Builds a skilled workforce for higher productivity. Encourages innovation and leadership for technological and social advancement. 6. Enhancing educational policy and reform. Enables reforms like digital learning, vocational education, and inclusive policies. Challenges in educational finance. 1. Inequitable distribution of resources.